Ladies and gentlemen, we will just still wait for a couple of minutes. As usual, on these evenings, there is an accident on the motorway, so we're still waiting for a couple of persons for a couple of minutes. Thanks for your patience, but you get already a little bit of the nicer atmosphere. Feel home in our cabaret. Ladies and gentlemen, Monsieur le Ministre, par vidéo, dear graduates, dear guests, bienvenue, willkommen, welcome to the University of Luxembourg, and welcome to the PhD graduation ceremony at the University of Luxembourg. Welcome to a very special graduation ceremony. My name is Jens Kreisel. I'm the Vice Rector for Research of this university, and I have the pleasure to guide you through this evening. Today, we celebrate 129 PhD graduates of the academic year 2020. Some of you are joining us here in person. You are the lucky ones. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many of you are also joining us via live stream from your homes. I hope you can feel the festive atmosphere. I hope you can capture some film parts of the venue of the ceremony tonight. A very hearty welcome to you around the world as well. Today is a very special day for you, for your family and for your friends, but also for us as a university, your supervisors and the whole university staff. It is even more special considering the challenging circumstances under which you have managed to finalize your thesis during the past year. You have shown remarkable resilience in face of this incredible global pandemic. The university confers upon you a doctoral degree, the highest academic degree. You can call yourself now doctors, in this room and in the live stream. Your PhD diploma certifies that you have achieved and learned much. Probably starting with the fact, as someone said, learning is no spectator sport. A doctorate is hard work. It is about acquiring knowledge through research. It is about day-to-day challenges that most of you have certainly seen. It is about pushing the boundaries, about creative destruction of old certainties, about establishing and testing and establishing new evidence and theories. My sincere congratulations to you. You succeeded, and in doing so, you make all of us proud, and you make also, I believe, your families proud, some of which are with us tonight. We define the University of Luxembourg as a research university. Doctoral researchers, such as you, are a pillar of our research, and ultimately, you are the pillar of the research and innovation system of this country. You contribute to put Luxembourg on the map of knowledge creation, and you help also to make Luxembourg truly fit for the future. We need it more than ever. So you are now joining the growing number of the PhD alumni of this university. The evolution in PhD graduation of the university is impressive. In the first graduation, 2006, 2007, we graduated 9 doctoral students. Today, we celebrate 129 graduates of the academic year 2020. Today, we count almost 950 registered doctoral candidates at the university. And at the end of last year, the university also celebrated its 1000th doctoral candidate, Dr. Carmine Gabriele, who is also here with us tonight, sitting at this table, and who will say a few words later. 1,000 PhDs, it's a testimony to the ambition and the quality of our young university. Your PhD diploma certifies that you have learned much. Knowledge is a prerequisite to help shape the world of tomorrow with all its challenges. None of the problems we face today are simple, and they can usually only be addressed with an interdisciplinary approach with people collaborating together, and not by a single person or by a single discipline alone. Challenges like the digitalization, climate change, health, sustainable economic growth, or social inclusions are intricate and multi-layered and require a broad basis of scientific knowledge, such as the knowledge that you have acquired at our university. As you embark on your careers, I would like to ask you to remain open, curious, and keep on learning. Your PhD is a good basis, I believe. And please also remember, a PhD is a symbol which shows our society that it can rely on your judgment, your scientific assessment, and your expertise. Use it and be a role model of a scientist and to the society. A responsible and ambitious personality, you use this expertise for the benefit of society. Enjoy the interesting road ahead of you. Finally, a special vielmals merci goes to the many of you who came from other countries and cultures to do your doctorate here in Luxembourg with us. This year, you're representing 40 nations, and in our doctoral education at the moment, we have even close to 100 nationalities. Thank you for the trust you have placed in this university, the trust you have placed in this country, and it was a pleasure to have you here. It was a true privilege, and we hope you keep a good memory of your stay here. So with this, let me quickly explain how this ceremony will unfold tonight, and it's my pleasure to put you through the ceremony. We'll first hear welcoming words from Claude Maisch, who is the Minister of Higher Education and Research, followed by Stefan Pallage, the rector of our university. Then we will hear a keynote address by Michel Détaille, President of the Federation of the Industries of Luxembourg. This will then be followed by a short introduction of our 2020 graduates and a speech by Carmine Gabriele, our 1000th PhD student. And finally, we will move on with the conferment of the excellent Thesis Award, which we give for the very first time to our distinguished laureates. Some of them are here tonight, and this is a particular pleasure to have you and your families with us. At the end of this ceremony, you may learn about how to become an ambassador and alumni of our university, and our alumni officer will make a presentation to you. So we're excited to have you here today. Enjoy the ceremony, enjoy the evening in this special moment, and it is for this now my great pleasure to introduce a video by Minister Claude Maisch, who is the Minister of Higher Education and Research of Luxembourg, and who will address you by a video message.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to address you today at this year's PhD graduation ceremony. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the doctoral graduates and their families and friends. Doctoral studies are not an easy undertaking. Creativity, critical and innovative thinking, organizational talent, drive and perseverance are just some of the qualities needed to successfully complete a doctoral thesis, not to mention the time required and sacrificed. But as if these were not enough demands, this year's doctoral graduates were also confronted with a worldwide pandemic and the corresponding restrictions. They therefore deserve additional respect. You, dear doctoral graduates, you deserve additional respect. You have shown that in even difficult times, it is possible to cross borders and conduct innovative research. In this way, you contribute in an exemplary manner to the already excellent reputation of the University of Luxembourg in teaching and research. And for this, my heartfelt thanks. My thanks and deepest respect also go to your supervisors, who were also increasingly challenged and had to show more patience and in many cases find more encouraging words than might otherwise be the case. Last but not least, a big thank you to the University of Luxembourg and its responsible persons for the overall efficient and goal-oriented organization in the context of the digital defense of the doctoral thesis, but also more generally in the context of overall university and research operations within the crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, these are difficult times for all those working in the medical and nursing field, but also for each and every one of us. But these are also highly interesting times for natural scientists, for biologists, for medical doctors, also political scientists, sociologists, psychologists, philosophers, historians find here a vivid terrain that is unparalleled. If we approach the matter intelligently, openly and without bias, that means as scientifically as possible, we can and should draw a lot of information and lessons for the future of our society and even of humanity as a whole from the current situation. In a very direct way, the pandemic has impressively shown us the importance of research and knowledge. This in all areas. An importance that, of course, I do not need to explain to you present in Belval today or following us online. Mesdames et messieurs, afin de permettre à l'écosystème scientifique luxembourgeois de se développer de manière ciblée tout en contribuant à faire du Luxembourg à l'horizon 2030 une société de la connaissance durable, diverse et numérique, le gouvernement a présenté début de l'année dernière, donc bien avant la déclaration de la pandémie, la stratégie nationale de la recherche et de l'innovation. Celle-ci vise à dresser un cadre général en définissant 4 grands domaines prioritaires de recherche qui revêtent une importance particulière pour le développement sociétal, écologique et économique du pays. Transformation industrielle et des services, développement durable et responsable, santé personnalisée et éducation du XXIe siècle. En outre, elle traite des moyens que l'écosystème de la recherche et de l'innovation doit se donner en vue de remplir cette mission, à savoir une gouvernance, des politiques et des infrastructures coordonnées, un solide ancrage de la science dans la société, ainsi que le cadre réglementaire et des instruments de financement nécessaires afin que la recherche puisse agir comme moteur de l'innovation dans l'industrie, des services et le secteur public. Vous, chers diplômés, chers docteurs, vous faites désormais partie intégrante de cet écosystème et en tant que ministre responsable de l'enseignement supérieur et de la recherche, j'en suis fier et heureux à la fois. I believe I can say, based on your student career here at the University of Luxembourg, a university that is a model not only because of the diversity and internationality of its students, but also because of the very high proportion of doctoral students, that you are very well prepared for the future. Whether you commit yourself to an academic career or whether you bring your knowledge to the private, industrial or to the public sector, I wish you all the best. And be assured, Luxembourg will always welcome you with open arms. Thank you very much.
Merci, Monsieur le Ministre. Thank you, Minister Maisch. And now let me introduce and invite to the stage the Rector of the University of Luxembourg, Stéphane Palage, le recteur de notre université. Stéphane, c'est un plaisir.
Monsieur le ministre, Madame la présidente de la FEDIL, Messieurs les directeurs du LIST et de l'Institut Max Planck, chers collègues, Mesdames, Messieurs, Moyen, good evening, guten Abend, bonsoir. Très chers diplômés, cette journée est une journée de grande joie et elle vous appartient. C'est vous que nous sommes venus honorer. Cette cérémonie de remise des diplômes est un moment charnière de votre vie. Au Québec, d'où je viens, on parle d'une cérémonie de collation des grades, parce qu'en fait, en termes académiques, nous décernons des grades. Un grade de bachelor, un grade de master, et dans ce cas précis, un grade le plus haut de PhD. Les Américains appellent cette cérémonie le commencement, parce que ce n'est la fin de rien, c'est le début de tout. Your road to today's ceremony was not an easy one. It was in fact harder than for most of your predecessors. You have accomplished the final part of your PhD during the worst pandemic the world has known in 100 years. Your success, and the minister mentioned it, and I want to stress it, your success is remarkable, and it deserves the recognition of us all. You have earned this PhD, and we are very proud to confer it to you. Nous aurions aimé vous recevoir tous sur le campus. Les règles sanitaires ne nous permettent pas encore de le faire, mais nous sommes ensemble et c'est ce qui compte. En ce 12 mai 2021, nous célébrons votre réussite et tous les chemins possibles qui s'ouvrent à vous. Sachez qu'ils sont aussi nombreux et aussi larges que vous le souhaitez. Vous avez les moyens de changer les comportements inefficaces autour de vous, faites-le. Vous avez tous les outils pour inventer un meilleur avenir, faites-le. Soyez des héros pour vos enfants, pour vos proches, pour vos amis, pour votre pays. Une autre vie commence ici, et croyez-moi, il y a une vie, et une belle vie au-delà du PhD et au-delà de la pandémie. In this life ahead, many of you will devote years to research. Remember that your experience will be very important to the next generation of students. Teaching may be one of the most important missions you will have. View this as a superb opportunity to develop. As one of my friends, who's also a Nobel Prize winner, puts it, teaching is an amazing way to learn. Dear graduates, you enter a network of people that will be your most valuable team. Make sure you connect to those alumni who were attending ceremonies like this one in the past years. A network is worth nothing without connections. Be active in this alumni network. Make yourselves known to your peers. Help your university build stronger ties with all its alumni. And become a partner of your university, a partner for life. Together, we represent an incredible force. I have the pleasure to be the rector of the University of Luxembourg. This university is special. It is only 18 years old, but it already ranks 12th in the world among universities younger than 50, according to Times Higher Education, and 4th among the millennials. When creating the university 18 years ago, the government of Luxembourg also decided that it was going to be different from existing universities. It was going to be interdisciplinary and multilingual, moving thus away from the principle of disciplinary silos that is the traditional way of organizing universities. Silos do not stimulate interdisciplinary conversations. We strongly believe at the University of Luxembourg that innovation is at its highest potential when a physicist talks to an economist, who talks to a computer scientist and to a biologist. Then suddenly, we move away from epsilon improvements in physics, economics, computer science, or biology. We open the door to groundbreaking improvements in knowledge. The University of Luxembourg is interdisciplinary from the start. It was originally interdisciplinary by law, it is now by culture. Cette université est aussi spéciale parce qu'elle est votre université. Et désormais, et chaque jour de votre vie, nos plus précieux ambassadeurs. Vous êtes, sans le savoir peut-être, déjà tatoués de ce rouge et de ce bleu qui représentent nos couleurs. J'espère que vous serez toujours fiers de l'Université du Luxembourg, comme l'Université du Luxembourg aujourd'hui est fière de vous. Chers diplômés, c'est un honneur pour moi de m'adresser solennellement à vous. Je suis particulièrement fier de ce que vous avez accompli sur le chemin de cette graduation. Vos directeurs partagent cette fierté, vos proches également, qui ont aussi partagé d'ailleurs chacune des très nombreuses émotions de ce diplôme. Je vous remercie d'avoir fait confiance à notre jeune et fougueuse université. Sur le chemin qui commence aujourd'hui, n'hésitez jamais à laisser la place aux rêves. Le monde manque cruellement de rêveurs. Le rêve est pour moi l'un des plus importants devoirs du citoyen. Mais bien sûr, ne vous arrêtez jamais aux rêves. Faites en sorte que les meilleurs d'entre eux se réalisent. C'est la partie difficile, c'est la partie à laquelle vos études universitaires et toute la résilience que vous y avez développée vous ont préparé au mieux. Je vous souhaite le succès, je vous souhaite le bonheur, je vous souhaite de ne jamais, jamais, jamais vous ennuyer. Si cela devait arriver, voyez l'ennui comme un signe qu'il est peut-être temps de passer à autre chose. Die deutsche Sprache ist nicht die Sprache, die mir am leichtesten fällt. Aber es ist mir wichtig, Ihnen auch auf Deutsch zu sagen, wie stolz ich bin, Sie zu unseren Absolventen zählen zu dürfen. Je voudrais prendre un instant pour remercier le gouvernement du Luxembourg, qui investit de façon visionnaire dans l'enseignement supérieur et la recherche. C'est sans aucun doute le meilleur investissement en vous, en votre avenir, en notre avenir collectif. Un investissement aussi dans la démocratie. Plus que jamais, dans ce 21e siècle de toutes les remises en question, plus que jamais, les universités ont-elles un rôle important à jouer dans ce fonctionnement démocratique. À l'heure où la pensée critique se décline en 280 caractères, l'université assure un environnement de réflexion rigoureuse, indépendante, libre et dénuée de tout conflit d'intérêts. Elle offre un éclairage nuancé sur les grands enjeux de notre époque, établit avec rigueur ce qui est un fait de ce qui ne l'est pas, procure un avis expert sur les grands enjeux de la société. L'avis des chercheurs au Luxembourg lors de la pandémie a été et reste déterminant. Nous avons la chance de vivre dans un pays qui valorise la recherche et qui investit dans son université et dans ses centres publics de recherche. Cela ne sera jamais assez souligné. Merci donc, merci au gouvernement du Luxembourg. Et merci à la formidable équipe qui a réussi à nous organiser cette fête ce soir. Merci. Et très chers diplômés, je vais conclure ce discours déjà trop long par le seul mot qui convienne. Bravo. Merci.
Merci. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mrs. Michèle Détaille. On est honoré, Michèle. Merci beaucoup. Mrs. Détaille is a Belgian citizen. She is a graduate in political science from the Catholic University of Louvain, Université catholique de Louvain. And in the early 80s, she was one of the youngest mayors of Belgium. She just told me that she was even the youngest mayor in Belgium. And she has then occupied various national positions. Later, Michèle Détaille turned to the corporate world, becoming a true entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. In 1996, she took over the company No Nail Boxes, which she still manages today with a great entrepreneurial spirit. Former administrator of the Catholic University of Louvain, honorary regent of the National Bank of Belgium, Michèle Détaille became the first non-Luxembourgish woman elected to the presidency of the Federation of the Luxembourgish Industrials, la FEDIL, la Fédération des Industriels Luxembourgeois. In 2020, Michèle Détaille has been awarded the title of the most influential economic personality in Luxembourg by the magazine Paper Jam. The jury explained her choice by the following words: regardless of her mission, business leader, board member, or industry spokesperson, Michèle Détaille is always committed with resolution and with energy. Ms. Détaille, chère Michèle, the floor is yours.
Dear representative of the University of Luxembourg, dear graduate, dear guest, I accept the invitation of the Rectorate to address the celebration of this year's PhD graduates with great pleasure. I appreciate the honor that this invitation from the university represents for myself and for our industry federation, the FEDIL. I would like to thank the Rectorate for giving me the opportunity to make the voice of industry heard by a selected audience. Both. Please don't cry, stay with me. Dear graduates, allow me first of all to join Rector Palage in congratulating you and to express my admiration for the exemplary academic path you have taken. Beyond your initial intellectual disposition, I can imagine how much effort it took, how many moments of doubt you overcame, how much leisure time you sacrificed to finally obtain this magnificent degree. I congratulate you for your courage and for your tenacity put at the service of your intelligence. The PhD is the final step of an academic training and the beginning of a professional career that you will approach with a very solid intellectual background. As Vice Rector Kreisel said in his introduction, the University of Luxembourg has become a true research university. What a success for a young university. I would like to congratulate the Rectorate, the professors, and the university community for this great success. A success that honors the country and puts it on the international map of the academic world. The fact that 90 of the doctoral students come from abroad confirm the international dimensions of the university. As representative of the Luxembourg business community, I'm delighted with this international dimension, which reflects the country's economy and particularly its industry, which is open to the world and a major exporter. The reception of a large number of highly qualified people in our country contributes to a fruitful symbiosis between the business and academic worlds. The fact that 60 of PhD are related to science and engineering should be a good gateway to industry. In a recent survey conducted by FEDIL, it appears that highly qualified profiles continue to be highly sought after by our company, even after more than 1 year of pandemic. I'm sure many of you are wondering about your professional future. Will the pandemic have an impact on my entry into professional life? Yes, our economy has been shaken. Yes, some supply chains have been and are being disrupted. Yes, there are big question marks over the future management of the public debt incurred to fight the pandemic. But I encourage you to look at the positive aspect of the current situation. The world will continue to be driven primarily by technological progress. The transformation of society will raise organizational, managerial, and social issues that will have to be addressed. Your generation will be at the helm. Your excellent education and newly acquired skills will make you a key player in the challenges ahead. Digitization and the energy transition are two of the most important challenges. These are also two of the topics that FEDIL has identified in its priorities. Digitization will completely change the way we work. The organization of work has already evolved during the pandemic. Digitization has made it possible to continue certain tasks remotely. But this is only one aspect. In industry, even in SMEs, the organization and performance of workshops is improved every day by automation, robotization, 3D printing, predictive maintenance, or remote maintenance. Relationships with customers and suppliers are changing. Blockchain the traceability of purchases, artificial intelligence transform commercial prospecting, etc., etc. As far as the energy transition is concerned, if we look at the means that the European Union, national government and companies are mobilizing today and in the years to come to move our economy forward in the area of decarbonization and renewable energies, we can conclude that there is a huge potential for young graduates. The energy transition has an indisputable potential for economic development. Like digitization, it could become a vector of growth and probably a vector of more qualitative growth. At the moment, companies can see quite clearly what is wrong with the energy transition, but they are far from reassured about what will be right in the future. Industry has already made great efforts to reduce its environmental footprint, but the process is far from over. The pace of decarbonization is increasing. National plans and the European Union's Green Deal are forcing companies to face up to upheaval in a growing number of market segments. At the same time, companies are facing challenges in their own production processes. This development is beginning to look like a disruption. Let's take the automotive sector as an example. The first major players have started to leave a technology while there is still uncertainty and hesitation about the various alternative technologies and their chance of success. Think of the developers and producers of technology and products. They are destined to disappear in the next 2 decades because they are incompatible with the goal of carbon neutrality. You will tell me that these products' life cycle have always existed. Yes, but with 2 major differences. We are now experiencing a rapid technological transformation, driven or encouraged by politics. Until now, all products were phased out when replacement products were ready and performing. There are still so many question marks about the future. Research and development has a big role to play in meeting these challenges. Luxembourg has the necessary tools to support the transformation of existing companies and the creation of new activities. The university, Lux Innovation or LIST are effective facilitators of the modernization of the economic fabric. Based on our conviction that the country has an efficient public research center, we have jointly made a proposal to the government with the university. We propose the creation of a technology park around Belval site. This initiative aims to bring the university and the research center closer to industry. It aims to increase their impact on our economic fabric. We are thinking of a technology park such as those found at the well-known research university abroad. A park where companies and institutes collaborate. A park that should, in our opinion, become exemplary in terms of shared facilities, common infrastructures, and the application of circular economy principle. We hope that this idea will catch on, and we are ready to accompany this realization. Alongside digital transformation and energy transition, FEDIL has identified a 3rd priority: talent. We need to attract and return them. We need to show young people that they can thrive in the industry. We need to explain to those who are passionate about protecting the environment that industry is not the problem, but a part of the solution. We need to tell young people that they will do more to change the world by being PhD, engineer, technician, or computer scientist than by walking the street waving flags. We need to show them that it's our companies that produce and develop the goods and the services that will shape their future and the way they live tomorrow. We need to tell them that cleaner cars, more energy efficient airplanes, wind turbines, scooters, e-scooters, battery components, efficient wastewater treatment plants, reusable packaging, robots that make operators' life easier, software that makes work time more efficient, smart insulating glasses, low energy building, all of these are conceived, designed, and produced by our industry. We need to attract young talent. We also need to retain them. Our companies must adapt the new way of working, not only by adopting new technologies, but also by listening to the wishes of the younger generation and by continuously training our teams. Technological breakthroughs are transforming our companies, changing the way we produce and disrupting our organization. We must allow and encourage the adaptation and evolution of workers, whether within a company undergoing transformation or by facilitating the transition from one company to another or from one sector of activity to another. As business leaders, we know that we must listen to our employees. We need to meet their needs and encourage them to develop their skills if we are to succeed in this war of talent. Tomorrow, dear graduates, when you are in a leadership role or in a position of responsibility in the industry, you will know that not all companies have the same problems or the same needs. But not all employees have the same needs either. Wishes vary according to age or family situation. Because, dear graduates, professional life in a company is also punctuated by professional relationships. The ability to mobilize team, the ability to share your enthusiasm, the sense of fairness, the respect for diversity are qualities and attitudes that you will develop and that, added to your high scientific skills, will allow you to blossom during your career that I wish you long, beautiful, and fulfilling. Thank you.
Merci, Michel. Thank you, Ms. Detail. Thank you for your thoughts. I think you make really our PhDs and all the talents of the university welcome to the industry of Luxembourg. Now we come to the key point of the evening, the confinement of the diplomas. So this is typically the longest part of the evening where we give the diploma to each single PhD candidate. Unfortunately, this is not possible tonight. Nevertheless, we've got Carmine Gabriele with us, who's, as I said, the 1000th doctoral graduate, and who will represent all the PhDs who can only follow this ceremony from distance tonight. Carmine, you are the voice of your colleagues. The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you for having me here. I've been asked to say a couple of words on behalf of all my colleagues that graduated with me in 2020. So first of all, I would like to start by thanking everyone at the University of Luxembourg, and in particular my PhD supervisor, Thorsten Lennert, my employer, the European Stability Mechanism, for the time and the resources, and last but not least, my wife, without which I couldn't do this. I tried to put together a speech on behalf of everyone, but everyone lives a PhD in a subjective way, so everyone has a different experience. So in most cases, deciding to start a PhD, it's easier than completing one. A PhD is a different educational experience from any other type of education. It is a huge undertaking emotionally, mentally, and sometimes also financially. It can drain all your mental and physical energy, keep you away from your family and friends for long periods of time, especially during these periods, and it can be frustrating sometimes. On the other hand, during these 3 years, as already Professor Kreisel was underlying, you gain a big baggage of theoretical and technical knowledge, but I think it's not just that. You become independent, you learn how to self-motivate, how to structure your own project. You learn that you can have the best skills and ideas, but they won't bring you anywhere, in most cases, if you're not able to present them clearly. You get acquainted with presenting in public, defending your ideas on the basis of a solid theory, or some empirical analysis, or possibly both. And above all, you learn that you need to know all the weaknesses of your work, be honest and clear about them, and sell your research, sell your work despite them. In my experience, there have been many challenging moments, some of which I'm pretty sure are shared also with other colleagues. For instance, I've been stubbornly stuck with some that I thought it was a good idea, but which was delivering bad results. Sometimes I've been hostage of myself, especially at the beginning, in a vicious circle. Like I had some results completed, but then I read and learned something more. I reopened the results, I ran all the estimations, and then in the meanwhile, I learned something new. And then I did it again, over and over. And then I just learned that at some point, when you're satisfied with your work, you wrap it up, send it out for feedback, and then work on it again if needed. There have been many rewarding moments, like every time I was able to solve an issue with my MATLAB code, or even with a literature review, or when I could consider a paper as closed. Completing a PhD is a very rewarding achievement that, as said, comes at the cost of a lot of work and stress. But looking backward, this was all worth it. Choosing to do this experience, to do a PhD, and choosing most of the times also the topics, is something that you usually do consciously. You choose it to do it. And this puts you in a nice situation to work on something that you like, which is the first ingredient for doing a good job. I would like to congratulate all my colleagues, wish them all the best of luck, especially during these very difficult times. During this crisis, when the job market is even more difficult than in other times. And I would like to conclude just with a note on my personal path. When I was 22 years old, I decided to stop working in a shoe factory where I was working, and I started studying. I will spare you all the intermediate steps, but I approached the job market between 2012 and 2013, which were not the easiest times to look for a job. I found eventually, after a couple of traineeships, a job I liked. And then I started pursuing my initial goal, which was to get a PhD and work as an economist in a European institution. So it is with all the humbleness of this word. I mean, I'm not trying to extend my experience to anyone, but with all the humbleness of this word, that I would just like to tell my colleagues to never give up, plan ahead what you want to do, work hard for it, adjust your plans if it's needed, and work harder. You can achieve everything that you want, especially after you have completed a PhD. Thank you.
So our sincere congratulations to this ceremony, which is very different to the other years. Toutes nos félicitations. Allen herzlichen Glückwunsch. For those who have any doubt, the photos we have shown are not the PhD graduates, but are those who have done a PhD years ago and today heads of faculties, heads of centers. So with this, I would like to pass on to the next item on our agenda, which brings us to the conferment of the Excellent Thesis Award of our PhD graduates 2020, and which has newly been used last year. Before we ask our laureates on stage to receive their awards from the heads of doctorate schools, we have prepared a short video featuring some of the laureates. In fact, they have been preparing a video. We have just been putting it together. And we would like to hear what inspired them to write their thesis. Enjoy.
The University of Luxembourg is a research university. It strives for excellence in both fundamental and applied research. The university is the main pillar of Luxembourg's dynamic research landscape, driving the national ecosystem of innovation and research. Today, 950 doctoral candidates are registered at the University of Luxembourg. Their contribution to our positioning as a research university cannot be overstated. The doctoral candidates are also an important talent pool for the country. The University of Luxembourg has honored 15 doctoral graduates of 2020 with the first Excellent Thesis Award. It recognizes the outstanding quality of their doctoral theses. The Excellent Thesis Award celebrates cutting-edge and innovative research and is awarded to the top 10% of the university's doctorates. We are proud of our outstanding young researchers who will be ambassadors of our university and for the research and innovation potential of Luxembourg.
My PhD was about security and usability of verifiable voting schemes. I was very motivated by the topic itself because it touches democracy and democratic subjects, and this was very exciting. Working on the human aspects in addition of the security was very enjoyable.
What really motivated me for the topic of my PhD thesis is the fact that the mathematical and numerical methods that we have developed can be applied in principle in many research domains from biology to economics. And the fact that such tools are so general is to me very interesting, fascinating, and this is what drove me.
My thesis was to develop a formal tool which allows proving correctness of BFT protocols. I believe that these kind of protocols will be widely used in the future because they allow correct functioning of a distributed system even when some parts of the system are not working as expected.
The motivation behind developing MagRead was to foster quality, inclusive education and promoting learning opportunities for all.
As an engineer, especially the strong industrial collaboration with a Luxembourgish project partner, in combination with the challenging and new technology, were the most important things which motivated me to do this PhD study at University of Luxembourg on that particular project.
How do you exercise rule over two territories at the same time? And how do you do that when they're more than 600 kilometers apart and you live in the Middle Ages? I really wanted to find out, and that is why I wrote my PhD thesis on the Duchy of Luxembourg in the late Middle Ages.
I decided on the topic of my dissertation because I felt that much of the anyways sparse literature on social determinants of health and health behavior among immigrant adolescents had too narrow a focus on individual characteristics, often neglecting the role of the social contexts in which these young people are living their lives.
My research focuses on the human brain, its development and underlying diseases. For us researchers, it is extremely difficult to observe and study the brain in action, and this is the reason why we need models that help us to elucidate what is happening in our brain.
Dear winners of the Excellent Thesis Award 2020, we are proud of the outstanding research you have conducted during your doctoral studies at the University of Luxembourg. We are delighted to celebrate your achievement here today, and we wish you all the best for your future careers.
So you have seen just in front of you the names of the proud winners of the award. You have also seen the different flavors we have at the university, either in social science, humanities, in law, in science, technology, medicine, engineering, and many others. So I have now the pleasure to confer, together with the different heads of doctorate school, the medals we give for the best thesis awards. And it's a pleasure to start with Professor Susanne Siebentritt, who's head of the doctorate school in science and engineering. And this doctorate school is, in fact, the largest doctorate school of our university today, with about, I think, 550 registered PhD students. Susanne, your floor.
Thanks, Jens. Yes, the Doctoral School of Science and Engineering is the biggest one, and it's very diverse. We're having 7 programs that stretch from the very abstract in mathematics to the very concrete in civil engineering, concrete sometimes in the original sense of the word. And so, because it's very difficult to compare the quality of a doctoral thesis between math and biology, we asked the 7 programs to make a short list, and then in a jury composed of all the programs, we selected the winners. And we have very diverse winners. We have Gael, who worked on dry stacked masonry. Normally, when we build walls, we take masonry blocks and glue them together by cement. And then when we don't need the wall anymore, it's very difficult to get them apart. And Gael worked on putting them together without the cement, and he did seminal work in this field that allows recycling of buildings. We have Mark, who studied on the laser welding of hard metals, and based on his fundamental investigation of the microscopic properties of the welds, he could propose improvements for the process and make better welds. And Ivana worked on communication security. She developed a very general tool that can find faults and intrusions in the communication between computers and devices. And Marie worked on the security of voting software, and this general work on privacy and verifiability and usability led her to develop a new voting program, and we will use it soon in the elections in the Doctoral School of Science and Education. And Hugues worked on non-equilibrium thermodynamics. He worked on the effects that the memory, the history has on processes like ice melting. And then we also have Diego, who worked on the security of software-defined networks. We have Anne-Sophia. She worked on cell cultures to model the brain, to have models to investigate Parkinson's disease. We have Fulvio, who worked on the fundamental understanding on how electrons in a crystal interact with the vibrations of the atoms in a crystal. And we have Filippo, who worked on a breakthrough in math on determining the volume of complex manifolds. You can think of that as very complex geometrical buildings in a multidimensional space, if you can imagine that. And now I would like to invite those who are here, and I'm very happy that 4 of them are here on stage. Please come so I can give you your medals. And we start with Gael Shevengapea, who worked on the improvement of the load-bearing capacity of dry-stacked masonry. You open it. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And next is Uke Meyer, who worked on the generalized Langevin equations and memory effects in non-equilibrium statistical physics. Congratulations. And we have Mark Schiri, who worked on the Untersuchung der metallurgischen Phasenbildung und deren Einfluss auf die Verbindungseigenschaften sowie auf die Versagensursachen von laserstrahlgeschweißten Hartmetall-Stahlverbunden. Congratulations.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch auf die längsten Doktorarbeitsthesis.
Okay. And we have Ivana Vukotic, who worked on the formal framework for verifying implementation of Byzantine fault-tolerant protocols under various models. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And we have Marie-Laure Sollinger, who worked on the design and analysis of verifiable coercion-resistant voting protocols. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And we have more laureates who unfortunately cannot be here tonight. That's Diego Luis Kreutz, who worked on logically centralized security for software-defined networking. We have Filippo Massoli, who worked on constant curvature surfaces and volumes of convex compact hyperbolic manifolds. We have Anna Sophia Monsel, who worked on modeling Parkinson's disease in human midbrain organoids. And we have Fulvio Pagliari, who worked on first principle approaches to the description of indirect absorption and luminescence spectroscopy, exciton-phonon coupling in hexagonal boron nitride. Congratulations to all of you. You did excellent work.
Thank you very much, Susanna. I believe that the titles of the PhD works are always the most impressive part. And now we're going to go into totally different topics, and we will see that the titles will change quite a bit. And it's a pleasure to welcome Professor Tibor Neugebauer, who will represent the head of the doctorate school in economics and finance, Pierre Picard, who cannot be with us tonight. Tibor.
With pleasure, I'm representing today the doctoral school in economics and finance, which is by numbers one of the smaller doctoral schools at the University of Luxembourg, but we are growing. And so in the last year, we had 10 theses. 6 of them were nominated for the award. And at the end of the selection procedure, which I believe was efficient and fair, the winner of the doctoral school Economics and Finance Best Thesis Award was the one with the highest total score, and it was Nora Paulus, who wrote the thesis on tax competition. The comments by the jury were as follows: the essays submitted by Nora Paulus are well-written, innovative, and contribute to the economic literature by proposing interesting extensions, integrating dynamics and deriving interesting results. Uncovering the dynamic aspects of tax competition, the thesis constitutes a significant contribution to one of the major topics in public economics. The thesis is excellently written and makes a strong contribution to the literature. On behalf of the doctoral school in economics and finance, I congratulate Nora Paulus. I wish you good luck with your future career. Thank you.
So, thank you very much. As you see, that title was very short. So we go into a different topic. Thank you very much, Tibor. Now it's a pleasure to welcome Professor Till Dembeck, who is the head of the Doctoral School in Humanities and Social Sciences.
Dear graduates, dear colleagues, dear all, when we were first discussing how to introduce an excellent thesis award, it was foreseen that it would consist in nothing but a diploma and a handshake with the Vice Rector for Research. Now, of course, this handshake is forbidden, and so due to the pandemic, you receive an actual medal. In the Doctoral School in Humanities and Social Sciences, we've seen 38 graduations in 1920, 1 in the doctoral program of education, 19 in humanities, 11 in psychology, and 7 in social sciences. Topics ranged from binge-watching behavior to digital hermeneutics, from trends and post-humanism to the energy policies of the EU, from reading in a third language to graves and grave markers in the border regions between Germany and Luxembourg. Out of these 38 theses, a committee set up by the doctoral school selected, according to the rules, the best 10% of each program, those we considered the most convincing with regard to their originality, to their potential impact on future research, and to the clarity of their presentation. Thus, there are now 2 excellent thesis awards in the program of humanities, and 1 each in psychology and social sciences. Arithmetically, of course, it would have been only 70% of 1 award for social sciences, but let's not be pedantic. I would heartily like to congratulate our awardees. Your work has been truly excellent. This holds, of course, also for all other graduates of our doctoral school. Congratulations to you as well. Now that you've done it, I can finally say it. Pursuing a PhD is a high-risk endeavor, not because your project might fail, or because your work in the field or in the archive might be impeded by something like this pandemic, but rather because while you are writing your thesis, you are bound to get to know yourself much better than you ever wanted. So now that you are so well acquainted with your strengths and with your weaknesses, you will be able to save the world, which, as you should have realized in the course of this ceremony, is what we expect of you. So once more, congratulations to you, and a big thank you to all supervisors and the administrative staff of the doctoral school and of the whole faculty and C2DH. So I think we can now proceed, and I will invite the first of the 2 laureates who are actually here tonight to the stage, Christa Birkel, who wrote her thesis, a thesis with the title Das Herzogtum Luxemburg unter auswärtiger Herrschaft, Legitimation, Delegation und Partizipation zwischen Kooperation und Konkurrenz. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Als zweite bitte ich auf die Bühne Tahere Pasuki. Oh, I'm sorry, I switched into German, but it's a multilingual university, so I'm allowed to. Anyway, the title is in English, and the title is Margrit from Developing a Language-Neutral Learning Application to Predictive Learning Analytics. Congratulations. And the 2 other excellent thesis awards went to Matthias Kern, who wrote on health behavior, and well-being among immigrant adolescents in social context, and to Elisabeth Tropper, who wrote a dissertation entitled Enter the Ghosts of Europe, Heimsuchungen Europas im Theater der Gegenwart. Congratulations once more. And save the world.
Thank you, Till. As you have seen, some of the awardees unfortunately could not come, and this is also the case for the awardee in the doctoral school in law. And I represent today also the head of the doctoral school, who is Professor Joanna Mendes, who was not able to attend. But I would like to say that the awardee is Vincent Richard, or Vincent Richard, I don't know the origin, with the supervisor Gilles Codiberto, and also received an excellent Thesis Award of the Doctorate School of Law. So I'm again happy that you have seen through these different titles all the different flavors of this of this university, going across many different topics. Congratulations to all the awardees, congratulations to all doctors, and if I may, also congratulations to the supervisors who have been accompanying you. So, dear graduates, you're now among the ambassadors of this university, or as we say, the alumni of this university. And I would now like to invite you to listen to our alumni officer, Andy Adams, who will join me on stage, and he will explain you what it means to be ambassador of this university, alumni, and what comes with us. Andy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jens. Strangely, since I started this position, some people have asked me, are PhD students also considered alumni? I think my presence on stage should answer that question, but I'll give you a more definitive answer. It's hell yes. So 1 year ago, though, my previous boss told me something that I will never forget. He said, inside of every problem is an opportunity. The postponement of this graduation ceremony from December last year until now has also created an opportunity for all of you, and I'm really excited to be here to tell you about it today. So as Stefan Palage mentioned about commencement before, my university had commencement in the US, except I had no clue what commencement meant, because it's an end. It's the end of your studies. Why are you calling it the beginning? But of course, it is a beginning. And your time as students at the University of Luxembourg may be ending, but your time as alumni of the University of Luxembourg has only just begun. So as I said, I started or commenced at the University of Luxembourg in October last year during the pandemic in order to set up the alumni network. Now, the first phase of this project, which is focused on new graduates, such as yourselves, was not ready in December, but it is now. So we want to be there for our alumni every step of the way, and have created what's called the Grad Pack, which is a series of benefits and services to welcome you into the alumni community, and also to help you establish yourselves in the professional world. The Grad Pack will continue to evolve over time, but we're happy to share with you today the initial list of partners, both internal and external, whose logos you'll see on the slide. So as new alumni, and several doctoral students have said this to me before, they don't have time to look for a job while they're finishing their thesis. And by the time they want to ready to look for their job, they've left the university. But the university is not going to leave you. So going forward, all alumni will continue to have access to the Career Center and Job Teaser platforms for a minimum of 2 years after you graduate. You will also have access to events and courses organized by the Incubator and the Entrepreneurship Program, including Ideation Camp, and I think there's an Ideation Camp winner out there. And if you create a startup, which several of you have done, you also have access to the office space and mentoring services. Alumni will also benefit on discounts on training courses offered by the University of Luxembourg Competence Center and the Confucius Institute, and Descom will be very happy to send you their science comic, Luxplorations. I spent 25 years in the financial sector, and one thing I didn't really realize until midway through my career was how important networking is. And networking in Luxembourg is actually very easy, but sometimes access to the networking organizations is linked to your company or your employer, or to your ability to pay for a personal membership. One thing I'd like to emphasize too, because the word interdisciplinary has been used a lot tonight, I worked in the financial sector, so I was networking in the financial sector, naturally, but mid-career, I got involved in some other organizations, and I discovered an entirely different Luxembourg. There's scientists out there. There's academics out there. There's industry out there. It's not just finance. And it was a great, there's a startup sector. It was fascinating discovering this interdisciplinary Luxembourg that I had no clue really even existed in the financial sector. And that's why I'd really like to emphasize the importance of networking. And we worked with some external partners in order to open the door for you to give you a head start. So the British Chamber of Commerce in Luxembourg is offering, in addition to 2 years of membership, also the ability to apply to be one of their 5 industry working groups. The Leo Club Feuerwehr Luxembourg, which is the youth organization of Lions Club International, will offer membership for the first year. And the network, whose mission is to connect women and facilitate their collaboration, will offer membership and access to their events. And I think there was a reference, Michelle obviously won the Paper Jam Award last year. We don't have the agreement yet in place, but we do anticipate an agreement with Paper Jam, the Paper Jam Club, in order to give you access to their events. One thing you've probably already noticed as ex-students now is all those free subscriptions and advantages that you had as students have unfortunately graduated with you. So we have negotiated a few discounts as part of the grad pack. So coming back to Paper Jam, you'll have a choice of a subscription to Paper Jam or Delano as a University of Luxembourg alumna or alumnus. And if you'd like to subscribe to the Luxembourg Times, the online English language newspaper, you also have preferential rates for that. Establishing an alumni network is going to take time. This is only the beginning. You spend a few years as students at the University of Luxembourg, but you'll be alumni for the rest of your lives. We still have a lot of logistics to put into place for this alumni network. Our website isn't even up and running yet. So in the meantime, sorry, I forgot one thing. This is particularly important because doctoral students gave us this feedback. Why are our email addresses cut off when we graduate? Alumni email addresses will be introduced during the rest of this year, so you finally have a chance to get an alumni email address as well. One of the more logistics that we have to put into place. But in the meantime, we do have an email address. It's alumni@uni.lu, so please feel free to reach out. Tell us where you're at nowadays with your current email address, so we know where to find you when we're ready to launch. Congratulations on your graduation. Good luck on the commencement of your professional lives. And I look forward to building the University of Luxembourg Alumni Network with you in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andy, and thank you to all of the speakers tonight. So dear graduates, dear guests, through these last words, and on behalf of the rector, Stefan Palage, and on behalf of the entire university, I unfortunately have to conclude today's PhD graduation, which we have tried still to make as special as possible to you. Again, my sincere congratulations. I wish you also personally a bright future, and you will always be part of our family, the University of Luxembourg. I wish you an excellent evening. Thank you very much.